Welcome everybody back to another BOLDcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Invincible Season 2, Episode 1. Check out our previous reactions to the series on our channel. We haven't posted the Adam Eve special on YouTube, so you can't find that, but we're ready to get right into Season 2. Let's go. Starting at 0.
You serious, Grace?
Thank you.
Let's deal with that guy.
It's about time.
Oh, the best character, Amber. Is this guy really coming back?
I think it's just giving a full, like...
Expertise in tissue growth and DNA replication.
I wonder what's going to be up with these guys now. The blue guys. I wonder if we're going to see a lot more about Viltrum this season.
I would think so.
I wouldn't. I mean, it depends on if they show if they cut to Nolan,
Yeah.
or if they want to keep him kind of mysterious, like in the background, and then cut to him and maybe at the end of the season. Alrighty, what we doing? What is this? Oh, what? They brought him back again?
I've been hit harder before. Like, way harder. So
He's immortal.
arrogant.
I guess they're the only people they can, like, train against.
Yeah. Everyone else would just get killed instantly.
Yup.
This is a dream for sure.
Yeah.
Mortal your way out of that. Dad?
The immortal lived for thousands of years, trying to make this planet better for all its people. Thought he'd see the truth, like you did.
Oh, this is Mark's dream.
I think he was trying to lead us away.
So we must be close.
People of Earth, you all feel like we're the bad guys because my dad and I took over your planet. But you're going to be part of the Viltrum Empire now. That means no one goes hungry, no one dies from cancer, and no one ever...
Yeah, it's like this is a way more overt way of doing what I think they tried to do with, like, is he gonna follow his dad's footsteps? Is he gonna be more of a human type thing?
You'll thank us. But you need to remember, join us in welcoming them.
Is this like an alternate reality or something? What's going on here?
Don't forget, I'm invincible.
They said it. They didn't cut
Didn't
away.
do it.
We know.
It's just on
You all
repeat.
feel like we're the bad guys because my dad and I took over your planet.
Is this a dream? This is just going on too long.
Yeah, this
now
just
I'm,
keeps
now I'm
going.
concerned.
I mean, yeah, it's a dream.
Angstrom, were you followed?
The immortal led them away. We're safe.
Yeah. That's what Rex thought too.
Ah, shit.
Did you retrieve the null energy?
If this doesn't make Omni-Man have a bad day, nothing will.
But Robot's still like that when he transferred his consciousness and that version of him died. So this is very strange.
Hey, Eve. You look good.
It's like a black hole beam. There's no way that took him out.
Get back!
Someday, you too will die.
Sure. But you should have died at birth.
Wow. Wow.
Last chance. He's giving her chances because she's just, her power is so good.
Resistance made us kill thousands of innocent people.
Stop this. Or I stop you. Please.
I'd rather die.
What? Eve,
What?
I would never kill you. But can't let you hurt anyone else.
I'm sorry you had to do that, Mark.
I love just how, like, casual they
I'm
are.
not dead. Just paralyzed.
Huh. So that's what you were practicing on those protesters last week.
Oh my god!
Got some people who will take care of it. So, I can visit.
Hi, since you
Jesus! I can visit. What?
don't touch me!
Hey, buddy, you sentenced yourself to death when you joined Club Resistance.
Justice will come for you. For all the friends we've lost to your senseless cruelty, for all the families you've torn apart, you will reap
Let's
what
do
you
this, Mark. Missed lunch because of that riot in Bangkok.
Yeah, way ahead of you.
Hmm?
What the hell was that? A portal or something?
Who cares?
I kind of want this to be the show.
I know, I was thinking.
I kind of am liking this a lot more than fucking messing around with Amber and all the high school bullshit. Oh, am I gonna be a guy or am I gonna be a superhero? This is way more interesting. With some Radiohead. Yeah, I think it's just him thinking of what could have been. Because I guess he didn't know about Robot yet. But he didn't know about Robot's real body either. So what the hell was that?
I don't know.
Oh my god. With, wait. What is... Oh, he's
putting
putting
out
out
the
the
fire.
fire. I was like, is he just killing these people? Did he just decide? I love Radiohead and I want to listen to it, but I don't want to get claimed with the audio. He's just zooming around trying to do everything he can. Like, this is what happens when he uses his powers for good. He just is zooming through. But will it ever make up for all the lives that were taken that day? Is he kind of seeing like the fragility of it all? Just like the, shit happens whether you're there or not type thing? Yeah, he's just thinking about all that shit. I lost myself. What are you thinking, Mark? Please don't let Amber be with me.
This.
You hold a grudge this long. I said I was sorry. I don't want to eat that garbage. I want real
Then shut up.
Said get back.
I bet the security here is just as bad as it was before. They literally have
This
those
guy
handprint
if they
things.
break out again right now, I swear to God.
God. This is 19... You...
They didn't install like a 2-door system, like...
Yeah, this prison's worth billions of dollars, all this technology, and all it is just a 1950s.
I ain't scared. Don't try to bargain with me. We've got security turned up to 100 on YouTube. New cameras,
Now
new
you have security turned up to 100.
New guards.
I'm sure that'll do anything. More Rick and Morty?
Yeah, I shit portals now. Did I mention that?
Yeah, I mean, if that is Rick and Morty, it's an alternate universe. Because it's the same type of portal. Are they literally writing Rick and Morty into this show?
See you around, Pete.
God damn it.
Do we know anybody with that portal technology? Is it Robot?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Where the hell are we?
They're in another reality.
I bet he knows.
Oh, jeez. Who is this? This is the guy from The Thing.
What happened here?
A tragedy, but don't worry. This isn't your world. My name is Angstrom Levy.
Hi, Angstrom.
Okay.
Why'd you... Let me guess. You can open portals between dimensions.
I mean, I don't like to brag.
But not within the same dimension.
And why do you think that?
Because we're walking. We need to find a crater deep enough here to reach us in the GDA's underground prison there.
Ah, you two are sharp. I need your help with a very specific problem.
Last time we helped someone else with a very specific problem, it didn't work out so well for us.
Look, I'm a pacifist. I don't hurt people. I don't kill people. I only use my power for good. Now, working with the two of you is a real ethical and moral stretch for me, but I don't have a choice. There's no one else with your scientific je ne sais quoi. Trust me, I've looked everywhere. Now, I can't force you to help me, but I will leave you here forever if you don't, or somewhere worse.
It's so crazy because I never thought that these guys would be such reoccurring characters.
At the start of the show,
At the start of the
absolutely
show,
not.
I was like, these are just throwaway guys, and now they're just like some of the main antagonists constantly.
I wonder if that universe that they were just in was the same one
As
the Mark and Nolan, or if they're just going between one and the other, or if he
there's
has
many.
multiverse. Yeah.
I can't imagine not ever seeing my dad again, and my dad's a dick. I hear your dad was an okay guy, though. He was like Jack, right? You wish you got those genes, huh?
Ooh.
Thanks, Dad. Mark
Oh
appreciates
my
it.
god.
It's your favorite. Everyone's favorite.
Man, I'm not an asshole.
Can we just
I'm
fast
not
forward
an
this part of the show?
asshole.
You're trying really hard there.
Yeah, it's fine. But are you fine?
Todd's right. My dad might as well be dead. That's how it feels anyway.
Sure.
I don't get to be sad. I'm part of the problem. I'm the reason all those
Are they
people
gonna
in
write her
Chicago
this season to
died.
be way more kind?
Wait a second.
I shouldn't be here. I should be out there.
You didn't kill those people, Mark. Omni-Man did.
But I didn't save them.
You don't owe anyone anything.
I'm not so sure.
Hey, hold on.
I'm better. I'm stronger. I'm ready.
No, you're not.
Yeah, thank
You're
God.
not, Mark.
Thank God, Cecil. I don't think he is.
It's only been a month, Mark.
That's like
Focus on your mom.
way
your grades,
shorter than I
your
thought.
girlfriend. You want to go to college with Amber, right? You can't do that if you don't graduate.
Oh my God,
I can
fuck
save
Amber.
lives.
I need to know your head stops spinning before I let you back in the game, so no.
Completely fair.
Not yet.
You can't stop me. I don't need your permission to be a superhero.
You can't stop
You
me.
know who else said that to me?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not my dad.
Well, quit acting like it.
I'm my dad.
Take some time off, kid. Some real time off. You need it.
Was that Thwomp from
Jesus.
Mario?
This thing's still going on?
Urgh.
Going well, sir. Invincible.
They keep
I'm not
saying
making the
it.
same mistake.
It's like he's not. It's like he's gone. He's not really there. They keep saying Invincible. They keep like pausing on it, like they're gonna cut away,
And then they
they
don't.
don't. It's kind of. I think. Like they said it a bunch of times in the previous show as well. But like.
And I want to be president of America.
Based on his speech.
It feels like they're
patterns
setting
and
something up.
vocabulary.
Still so weird that robot stole Rex's body.
I don't care how old he is.
They seem to be getting over it.
Go down now.
We can neutralize him there without endangering civilians.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Rex! Blow up Rudy's charger.
I feel bad for this guy.
What happened?
I don't know. I couldn't move. My heart was racing. I was all sweaty.
You almost died.
That's fear. Before all this was just a video game for you. Now you're here, in person, playing for real.
I don't know why you're there in
I was
person.
thinking
You
that. I
can
thought that
still
he wasn't
control
in
your
there.
robots from far away. You still have the technology to do that.
Yeah.
Recognize this? That's one of our somatic encoders.
Those
But bigger.
chairs.
I hadn't noticed. It reads, copies, and writes human minds.
Makes this thing seat 100.
Yes, 100, but
The connectome buffers.
Why?
I feel like this guy's gonna be the villain of
I
this
thought I had enough.
season.
That's not gonna cut it. You'll need twice as many processing units.
how long do you get it working?
Yeah, I'm not really liking this,
Not long.
They're gonna
Two
work on
questions
like a
first.
way to kill Omni-Man and Mark,
but it's gonna.
and then they're gonna go to the other reality where Mark is like trying to be a good guy, and he's gonna try and kill him with the same technology, but it's gonna
Instead, let me appeal to your
backfire.
philanthropic
Probably
nature.
push him towards the road of insanity.
There's an infinite number of dimensions.
Okay.
And I was born with the ability to access all of them. Some differ from ours in the smallest way.
What is
Others
ours?
could be more different.
Which one were you born in?
Changing battle between Omni-Man and Invincible a month ago? In most other dimensions, they teamed up and took over the planet.
In most?
Interesting.
Meet the family.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was like, is there just one of him
I
because
did
he can
not see that
go?
coming.
But I
Because
guess.
you're the clone.
It's the Council
They're
of
all
Ricks.
alternate versions of me. I need to copy all their know-how and put it in here.
Why not just
What?
ask them questions?
Yeah.
There's only someone who can see the whole puzzle can put it together. Help me do this.
I
and
mean,
I'll give you
fair,
any
but, like,
solution you want.
the-
He wants to
That's too much
merge all of his
information.
consciousness. I think it's pretty badass, but I don't think he's gonna be a good guy afterward.
Food. and a population that thinks we're gods.
Oh, that's the
Oh,
guy.
that's the guy,
yeah, that's the one. Damn. If all of them get like assimilated into one super intelligent, crazy hive mind with the ability to shift dimensions and God knows what else.
I've been waiting for you. Olga.
I thought you went back to Moscow.
Let myself in. You like stroganoff, yes?
Want to hear something crazy? When I saw you with that knife, I thought...
Really? I would never.
You're 100% right.
Poison would be much better.
Okay.
Ongoing repeated fuck-ups of monumental proportions.
That's a little harsh, Cecil.
That was a nice way of saying.
What if he just slapped her in the face for talking back?
Unprepared, undisciplined.
Yeah, they're teenagers.
Not all of them. Most of them are adults.
On the line every single day.
Shut up, Rex. This isn't about you.
Hell yeah.
He needed to hear that.
Off the hook.
I'm instituting a change.
Oh.
The Immortal's now in charge. A couple thousand years of experience should turn things.
Nice entrance. Whoa. Was he waiting for his cue? You were, weren't you? Like, just over there or something? Did you work it out in advance? I mean, it looked effortless, but I feel like a lot of preparation went into it.
Bulletproof. Hey.
Whoa.
Amazing. Oh, it's just a whole.
Can we just can we go back to the universe where they killed Rex?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Mark, it's not a good...
I'll work for you. I'll follow orders. I'll let you make all the calls. Just
Yeah,
put
right.
me back out there.
Sir, energy levels just went off the chart.
Someone get this kid an earpiece.
That was easy.
Oh boy.
Power stable. Neural matrices spinning up. Buffers ready and networked. You know who else
That
could have
thing
pulled this off?
looks
No
so
one in
creepy.
a million different dimensions. Boom.
That's right. You two are about to change the world. All of them.
This is very, very, very bad.
Connect to the other 9 machines.
Holy shit.
Transdimensional interconnects are stable, bringing them online.
Like, you can just tell that this is the worst thing to ever happen. This is worse than Omni-Man.
Well, because the thing with Omni-Man, what made him dangerous and what ultimately saved the world was this struggle with his connection to humanity.
So you remember that you're you and not them, even though you'll have everyone's memories. At these power levels, severe brain damage would be the least of your problems.
Ah, shit.
I understand. I'm ready.
I recognize his voice. I can't pin it down, though.
I am large. I contain multitude.
Not can stay that. Why not?
Oh.
That's why, you idiot.
This is
I
bad.
feel like it's almost even worse to, like, interrupt it.
Spit it out, kid.
Okay, there's like a giant mechanical with
Spit it out, kid. I don't know how to describe this.
It doesn't matter. Just stop him.
Hey, shut it down, or I take it down.
Make us.
You have no idea how much I wanted you to say that.
Oh, that's not a good thing to say.
Yeah.
Stop fighting and listen to me. Stronger than he looks. Maybe. No way he lives up to his name. He's definitely not invincible.
He's still not invincible.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Then I'm sorry.
Oh.
Oh.
What? Help your brothers.
Of course. Of course. He wanted you to work for him, so of
How do you
course
think
he
he got
hyped you
this all
up.
rigged
Exactly.
up in all the other places?
I was thinking that too. I'm just like, why are they so sure that they're the only versions? Like, it, you know, infinite is a lot, just so you know.
Especially when they're both clones as well.
Yeah. I like they all have different designs, though. That's cool. Oh, is this from the... Whoa, that one with, like, the torn up head? That was so crazy. I like all the designs.
Stop him! But don't kill him!
Oh, we're gonna do both.
Shut up and enjoy the show.
Mr. T Mauler over here.
Is this feeling a little bit too familiar, Mark?
Quit whining. We're almost done. I won't build my utopia with blood.
Oh no.
What are you doing?
Oh no.
It must have finished? Maybe it finished?
No, I think it wasn't finished, and that's why it got all messed up.
There's no way he just failed. There's no way that plot line's just over. There's no absolute way. Wait, is Mark just dead in this? Did that kill him too? No. Okay, that would have been crazy. That would have been insane if they just killed this Mark. Like there was enough power there.
You guys couldn't have showed up like slightly earlier.
I guess he really is invincible.
There's no way it just didn't work. He's probably assimilated him into a different body in another dimension or something. He's gonna pop up later.
Have you eaten?
No, I guess I forgot.
I'll make dinner.
No, you don't have to. I can order.
I want to.
3 plates.
Okay, that would be nice. Some mail came for you.
From you.
You first.
No way, you first.
Okay, same time.
It's gonna get rejected.
I hope so.
Congratulations.
Fuck.
On being accepted
Oh
to
no,
Upstate
she's gonna get
University.
rejected.
Miss Bennett.
Oh no.
Miss Bennett, wait, this is yours.
What do you wanted to say?
I wanted to say that we're going to college together.
I don't believe you. Okay. I believe you now.
Is this what Amber? Did they get so much feedback
That they just, like,
everybody
made her a
hated
normal
Amber?
person?
They turned her back into the comic book Amber that everybody liked.
I guess I get to keep my superhero boyfriend after all.
I guess you do.
That must be what happened. She's way too nice. We never had a single moment like this from Amber in season 1. Everyone freaked out so hard they must have literally gone back on their decision and just put the actual Amber in.
Hey, Immortal. Thanks for the support today. I don't know
What
if
are you
you've heard,
pissed
but
off
I'm working
about?
For Cecil now, so
Cecil thinks you're on our side.
He sees through him.
Not so sure.
He sees the struggle. That's what it is.
I'll be watching you.
He got killed twice by his dad. Oh, whoa.
Super abrupt end there.
I'd say that was a really good first episode.
Oh.
There's no way. The portal's gonna open up and he's gonna come out and be like, I am everything.
Oh.
Is that you? Yes.
Is he just a giant brain?
How are you even breathing?
His brain's like grown down his body to contain all the information.
What did he do to me? You did that to yourself. I ruined everything. He killed so many. People I knew, people I loved. Millions died because of him. Your brain scrambled. You've lost track of what memories are yours, which come from the others. They're all my memories. All of them. You need a hospital.
I don't think anybody's qualified to deal with whatever this is.
I need revenge.
On Invincible?
I need to make him pay.
What?
I won't rest until I've killed.
There we go.
There it is. Okay. Oh no, there's cracks. That's gonna be the new thing.
Well.
Fine. Go. Don't worry about me. And half my body melted helping you mutilate yourself.
All right. So
Way better than I thought that it was gonna be. Honestly, I was pretty worried.
Well, okay. It's funny. I was just gonna be like, that was such a good episode. I love where this is going. And then they just like, like that thing at the end. I'm just like, okay, so now he's just an evil mastermind coming after Invincible. It's kind of the same thing, but it was more, there was more nuance to it when he was really trying to be altruistic. But then they just scrambled him up and made him kind of crazy. And that's the motivation.
Yeah.
Like he's just pissed off at Invincible, even though he's not the one who triggered it, that. Like he was trying to stop them, but like, he took off the helmet because Invincible was getting fucked up.
Yeah.
So now he blames Invincible for trying to stop it, even though he was unsuccessful. And, you know.
I think it's because, like they're saying, in the majority of the timelines, Invincible turned evil.
Right.
So the majority of the emotions and memories are overpowering.
Okay, never mind.
If it's like 75% we're bad and 25% we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe there is still hope for that. It just felt weird to like have him be very like walking the line, very interesting, and like not wanting to hurt that Invincible, and then being like just straight to fuck him, I'm a villain now, my whole thing is to kill him, because that's what I thought was happening at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of gave me hope that there was more nuance to it, and then it switched. But you're right, that's a perfectly normal explanation. So there is still hope for the plot line. Overall, I'm with you, yeah. I think that this was a way better start than I was, because if you guys didn't watch our previous reactions to the series, our big fear was that, like, because Nolan was carrying the show so much, and the conflict between the family and Nolan and Mark's, like, that internal struggle and, like, the grapple for power, your father versus the son, and all the psychological shit that went along with that, and all the reveals related to that. We feared that if, with Nolan gone, or at least out of the picture for most of this next season, that this is going to be kind of like a boring season.
Or it was going to be kind of like, some of the middle episodes of last season were pretty weak, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it just going to be like that until like 3/4 of the way through, and then Nolan comes back, or the Viltrumites come back, or you know?
Because what we enjoyed about season 1 was that like psychological aspect and the character drama. But with Nolan gone and with Mark here, and more of the focus clearly going to be on like the Guardians of the Globe, that was by far the least interesting part to us. Is all the like, we aren't watching this for violent super show, like all these violent superheroes. Oh, it's just like the Avengers, but like really violent. That's not appealing to us. That's not what is appealing to us about the show. The show has more going on with the character drama and with Mark's mental state and the struggle within him. And it seems like we're going to get more of that. And I like, the reason why I like this new villain, I forget his name. The reason why I like it, I was going to say this in the middle, but I was already talking too much, so I wanted to save it. But the reason why I like it is because it's clearly an extension of the inner conflict that Mark has been having from last season. So like the whole thing with Omni-Man and his struggle was the same thing that Mark is kind of going through, but Omni-Man, like, in the end, was spared Earth because of the connection he had to humanity, and how grounded he felt from his perspective. He's like, if I live a long time, you know, everything, like, what's the difference between people and ants to me? Like, they live a fraction of my lifetime. Their lives are meaningless. They're born, they live, they die, they, you know, go through the motions and whatever. Who cares? Nothing changes from my perspective because I'm so zoomed out. I'm so disconnected from the human struggles of each individual person that, like, the whole of it, and with planet to planet, he's destroyed dozens of planets, probably hundreds of planets with the Viltrumites. He's so disconnected from, like, the human struggle, the everyday struggle of the person, that the lives become meaningless. But through living with Debbie and raising Mark and living amongst humans, he, like, eventually had enough of a little struggle within him to kind of worm his way in, and then being able to spare Earth. And Mark is going through that same struggle, and he's much more closer to humans because he didn't know he was a Viltrumite until very recently. But as things progress, it's going to be very interesting because they're teasing more and more that he's he's a lot closer to his dad than even he thinks, and he's actually even worried about it himself. So all of that stuff with Mark and that, that struggle to stay connected. We saw that in the intro sequence where he's flying around helping all these people. It was almost like this, like, and the way he describes it, it's like he doesn't even feel gratified from helping all these people. Like the Mark of season 1 would be like, I saved these people, I helped these people, I stopped a bank robbery, I like put out this fire in this oil tanker. All those people are going to be able to go see their families now. It's like it would be a bigger deal to him. But now he's just so he's clearly more jaded than he was before after almost dying and after, learning about what he is. So all of that, he's now struggling with that more. And this villain is now kind of experiencing a little bit of that struggle as well, where he was born with the ability to go through all these dimensions. And so he's more attached to each reality than I expected him to be. But like, he's now a hive mind of, I don't even know, infinite minds. How many thousands of minds?
Yeah, well, I guess he
cobbled together. So he is going to be facing a similar struggle that Mark and Nolan were facing, of this, like, being so zoomed out, having so much knowledge of all these different realities that, and feeling it. That's the difference between being a collective of people and being a hive mind, is he's going to feel all that, have all those memories. But what's interesting is that it's not as simple as, oh, I have all this perspective. Now I'm so zoomed out, and I'm not invested in all of these different people's lives. He feels individually. That's the interesting thing. It's the strength of emotion of all these different people. It's not just this like high level perspective. So he is still connected. So he's going to be struggling with both of those sides, I think, as he's fighting Mark, who's also struggling with both of those sides. Sorry, that was really long winded, but yeah.
And the reason that happened is because he took off the helmet, because the whole idea was that if it completed properly, he would have still had that, but he would have kind of had a separation and like a sense of self, as in like the individual first guy. So he could have been like, okay, I'm like feeling this, but I'm gonna like think about it, and like it will go through, his actions would be through the filter of like the
experience,
his original mind, which was like empathetic and altruistic and kind of methodical and rational. So, but he kind of lost that, and then it's like, what happens when you just put all of these different people and all of these different perspectives into one person? It's too much.
Yeah, you risk becoming like, I mean, that, like, I talked about Rick and Morty kind of as a joke because the portal looks exactly like it does in Rick and Morty. But that's a big thing with Rick in Rick and Morty, is like, there's multiple times where just like, oh, my family's dead, I'll just shift to another reality, kill myself in that reality, and just take that person's place. And in season 1, it's like kind of a big deal. It's like, he takes Morty along, and then like something happens, and the whole their universe is just fucked. Their Earth is done. Their people are turning into giant monsters and everything, and like they're mutating. It's like a horrible apocalypse, and Rick's just like, all right, I think it's time to check out. And then he takes Morty. You cut to like a garage, like just them in this other reality, like talking, and then the portal opens up and just like explode, or like something explodes in their reality. And then they arrive at the exact moment, because Rick has access to infinite reality. So he just goes to the one where they explode at the exact time that they came in. So they died incidentally, I think, if I remembering correctly. But then they bury themselves in the backyard, and then Morty is just like having this existential crisis of like, this isn't my real family, but they are my family. Is life this meaningless? And he goes through this whole thing. He's like walking around his house, like looking at his whole house. Everything's the exact same in this world because it's infinite. So it's like that's the only difference, is that they died at that moment. And the thing that the message there, and what Morty goes through there, and what Rick is what Rick's whole thing is about, is that sort of like disconnection. And he's like, he kind of struggles with that a lot, of like, my family doesn't matter, these people don't matter, but in his heart of hearts, he really does care about his family. And that is kind of the sort of thing we're dealing with here. It's a very interesting thing, again, mirrored to what Mark is going through. So there's still a lot of hope for me this season. I'm they're already making some changes that I like from season 1 with Amber, but so there's a lot of hope for it. There is the fear that it becomes more of just like, oh, here's violent superhero show with all these
and I think also you always got to be careful when you have like multiverse type
time travel things, all that type travel, of shit,
like anything like that. I feel like you have to be very careful with it, because it can just get when you open up infinite possibilities, you're basically giving yourself an out, or like a like Deus Ex Machina for anything. Like, oh, and something appeared through this portal, and everything is you know.
I think what might help them is the fact that it's just tied to this character. So when this character dies, that connection is severed, and we don't really have to. There's still the possibility that it could appear in the future, but the fact that it's tied to what will probably be the big villain of this season means that once this is done, then there's that possibility. Because what happens is, like, when you give yourself that out, it's like, well, why don't they just go to the other route? It's just like it's like introducing cell phones into a horror movie. It's like you just created a solution to like all problems if you introduce time travel specifically, or with this alternate reality thing. It's like, if somebody can travel through all dimensions, then like, what's the point of, you know, there's questions that come up as a result of introducing these like reality bending powers, you know? So yeah, it's a tough line to walk for sure.
It's also, I really like, bringing it up again, I really like the detail that in most of the things Mark chose to go to like side with his dad. I think that's interesting, and I think that that's really gonna fuck with Mark if like this brain dude comes back and then he's like fighting him or like doing something, and then Mark's like, well, I didn't do that here, and then he's like, well, that's still over there, that's still you, and you still did that like 75% of the time, so you still have the like ability to, it's like
the potential.
The potential. It's like you still have the potential to do that. It's like being like, okay, not everyone could be a serial killer, but like, you know,
it's like psychopaths.
It's like, you know, some people have the capacity to do something, even if they're not going to do it. Like they could do it, whereas for other people they like couldn't do it.
That's kind of like what I think Batman v Superman is kind of about. For a weird example, but Batman is just kind of like, we can't just allow fucking Superman. He's a alien. He's like, and it's the same thing there. They say the same thing in that with any Batman v Superman story in the comics, or in there was the animated movie that was kind of like that too, where it's just like Superman, like the whole fear is there's this thing, and with One Punch Man it's the same thing. It's like this thing is so far above and disconnected from humanity that it doesn't see us as people. So like, or it has the potential to do wrong. So like, is it safer for us to just eliminate it and just, you know, defend ourselves from the other things, or to like try and live with it and hope that it doesn't change its mind one day or get pissed off and punch somebody through 20 skyscrapers?
Yeah.
You know, it's always a struggle. But I do like that Amber seems to be, it's so funny to me how much people, so when we watched the first season, for people who haven't seen our reaction to the first season, we did not like Amber at all. We hated Amber, but we're really careful about not going into it too much because we don't want to be too negative. But like partway through like episode 7 or 8, between that we talked to our like audience, or we saw comments on videos, and then we were just like, everyone was shitting on Amber, and we were just like, oh my god, we're not alone. We were afraid to shit on this person, but we're not alone. People actually hate Amber. And
it was so clear. And it was so clear the whole time that like it was clearly so many like writing choices were being made that like kind of like snowballed into like the character that was on screen, and like 90% of it was completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
So it's very nice, and I like it because I was like, there's kind of two options. Either you can like change that and like just make her normal and like a nice person and like not shitty, or you can like double down and make her twice as shitty.
Because what they were trying to do, obviously, many people have talked about this, and we're not the type of people to like freak out about like woke stuff or anything, but they were trying to make changes to her character, from what I understand, that made her more of a unique character and more of a you know, to have more diversity. Because I think she was just like a white, blonde hair, blue-eyed, damsel in distress girl who just was so nice and so pure and so kind, and she was just kind of like Mark's girlfriend. But like the point of Mark's story is that he is struggling between these two worlds. So having this girlfriend who is like so pure and nice and like a prime example of like good humanity, I think is kind of the point, and like kind of being that like core center of like purity, and that's like kind of her point. But it's not saying much in like the modern sphere, in the modern like cultural sphere. So I think the writers wanted to introduce some diversity there. They made her black. They made her like way more like headstrong and shitty, basically. They were trying to make her like strong and independent, and their way to do that was to make her so unlikable on accident. I think they thought they were making like a badass, you know, she doesn't need a guy, but she's gonna choose this guy because but it turns out that every interaction with her was just nails on a chalkboard, because she was independent, but she was also just an asshole person. She was just a mean person and unlikable. And I don't think that they foresaw that. I don't think that they saw it that way when they were writing it, but it really came off that way. And it's so funny that now we're getting the new season. She is so different, and I imagine that this is more what she was like in the comics, because there were weird artifacts of like her just being a nice teenage girl.
Every once in a while she would just be like nice and be like, oh, maybe Amber's not so bad, and then it's like, oh my god, she's like, and you know, changes like her knowing that Mark is like was a superhero, and then she knew the whole time but was still like getting mad at him for lying, and it was like this whole thing. Like I feel like that at that moment where like that was revealed was like kind of the final nail in her coffin of just like that just makes her seem mean and petty and what's word, like not
unsympathetic,
super selfish. If she's putting him lying to her over saving people's lives.
Yeah, because what they wanted to do was make her really smart, like smart. They wanted her to be a kind of like headstrong. She's independent. She's strong-willed. She's not afraid to like, you know, be out for herself and you know, do what she needs. Like what did she bully? What did she do to the bully? Or like she fucked with Todd or something. She like did something really fucked up.
She was blackmailing.
Yeah, she was blackmailing him.
But I mean, it was based off of something that he did. I can't remember what it was, but.
It wasn't warranted the way I remember. It's never warranted to blackmail people at the end of the day. But like the point of all this is that like they weren't plugged into like how people would perceive this person. But they were trying to do there was make with the knowing that Mark was invisible was like, oh, this isn't a surprise to her. She like fully knew. She was smart. She was she had intuition, and it just didn't work. And I really hope that they keep walking that back, not because I'm against independent female character, but because the purpose of her character in Mark's life is to serve this his journey and be that core that source of purity and optimism. From the way I'm reading the story. Again, we didn't read the comics, so this is just my assumption. But yeah, it's, you know.
I think it's also important for him to have like someone who's very supportive of him.
Exactly.
Too.
Yeah.
Instead of you know, his like connection to like the normal human existence, just pushing him away at every opportunity and, you know, being super petty and upset. And that's the other thing is like I think that there was a lot of moments in season 1 where she had the right to be upset or, you know, feel betrayed or whatever, but just because of the way that other choices for her were made, just made it come across like I think what's the word? It made it come across as her reaction being unwarranted, even though I think in a lot of cases, had things just been like slightly toned down, then I think a lot of people would have been on her side.
Yeah,
there was just like too much. So I'm glad to see here right away that she's just
the first scenes we get with her.
She's just normal. Yeah. She's being supportive to Mark, which is really important because his dad, you know, like. He's going through a really, really rough time, and she's actually being there for him instead of being like, oh, you're not taking me on a date because you're like grieving your entire life as you knew it. I hate you. like, you know?
It's the thing with her in season 1 was there was never like tenderness. There was never like true intimacy, you know? Like,
it never felt like, oh, this is like what through it all they like do have a genuine connection. It never felt like there was a genuine connection.
It was always this transactional thing where like he needed to like really fucking like be on his knees begging and worshiping her all the time and never doing anything wrong in order to like get the opportunity to like kiss her one time. And it was just like, this is so one-sided. It just didn't feel real. It felt like almost abusive. Like it was so like there wasn't that like that tenderness, that like closeness. There was never this core of like they're on the same team. And this first scene with them together, like opening their letters and shit and like hang out, you really get the feeling that like their characters are together. They're like on the same team. And I immediately like Amber more, just because, not because she's like weak or subservient or whatever they thought that the comic book version of Amber was, and what they wanted to change, but just because they're close and they clearly love each other, and you can tell that they love each other.
And that's the thing we talked a lot about in season 1 with how Debbie is like very like headstrong, independent woman. She's not afraid to stand up to Nolan, who is like a crazy superhero who could kill her in an instant. Like she was never afraid to speak her mind in their marriage, but it was also very clear that apparently, or at least in her mind, they had like a very strong connection and a very loving and happy marriage.
Well, the thing is, they did.
Well, they did. I know.
It was always a struggle internally for Nolan, but he was able to forget the Viltrumite thing. He kind of got, you could tell he kind of got lost in the humanity of it and was okay with it. He clearly wasn't sympathetic for the people he was saving, but he got into his life. He cared about his family. Clearly, he was kind of like convincing himself that she was just a pet, as well as we found out. But yeah, that parallel between Amber and Debbie was clear, and I wonder how different Debbie is in the comics. But when we talked about it, it's like, yeah, Debbie is a clear example of like that headstrong. She's like Nolan's super powerful, but like she's the head of the household. Like she makes the decisions and whatever. And it made perfect sense. It didn't feel ham-fisted or like they were trying to like make some social progress or kind of write towards an agenda. She just was a believably strong female character, and it worked, and it was very believable. Whereas Amber just felt very forced and very one-sided. Anyway, but all that being said, I really like the direction. Hopefully, it doesn't switch right back for comedic purposes or something. But yeah, I also really like the Immortal. I like that he's not. I like the balance they're striking with him, where he's not just like hating Invincible. He's wary of him, and he has reason to be. Right? He has reason to be. They killed all of his friends, and killed him twice. And he has him enough. Again, he's like that kind of person where he's so zoomed out, like that. What we were talking about. He has so much context for the last 1,000 years of like how people are and how people act. He has a lot of context, and as we know, Mark is fucking super evil in every other universe almost. Yeah. So like he's fully on point to be suspicious, and Mark is on point to be suspicious of himself too, and to be like, I'm just like my dad. And everyone's like, no, you're not just like your dad. But he still has this thing where he's just like, I feel that in me, and it's fucking with me, and I need to prove myself to myself. And the fact that the Immortal can see that, but is also not just looking for an excuse to beat the shit out of him or something and kick that can further down the road. I like that he like warns him. He's like, listen, I don't trust you. It is what it is. And I like that line they're walking with him.
I liked the Immortal getting brought back in as the leader. Yes. And I can't remember what this new guy's name is.
Bulletproof.
I love how he's like, like Rex is like, who are you? And he's like, he didn't say I'm like you, but I'm the cool version of you. Yeah. And like way better. But I'm like, this is the immediate vibe that I'm getting, that he's literally like a similar character, but like the actual cool and actually awesome version, instead of just being a whiny brat the whole time.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm everything you want to be.
Yeah, I wonder how it's good to give Rex a rival, because maybe that'll force some character development with him, because
they changed Amber. They didn't change Rex at all. He's still, absolutely terrible.
One thing also with Rex, like I mentioned, I think that Rex's voice actor is not playing Robot or Rudy very well, because they use the voice changer when he's talking about out of his suit.
Yeah.
And I like that, because you can immediately tell the difference. It's like he always talked in like a kind of a monotone voice, but there's always that like smoldering emotion sort of bubbling up beneath the surface, and you can tell that there's like some suffering in there all the time, and like he's clearly very emotionally connected to what's going on all the time. You can tell that through the performance. I think it's really good. And when Rex's voice is doing Rudy, it doesn't sound as genuine. It sounds way more like he's trying to talk like a robot, and that would make sense if it was like the robot from the start of season 1 before we knew anything about his backstory. But he's talking as if he hasn't gone through the character development that he has, and the lines themselves sound more sound more hollow coming from this voice actor than they would if the original voice actor was doing the voice. So that's unfortunate. I hope that kind of gets tightened up, because when Rudy is just talking, it feels very like when he's talking to Monster Girl. It's just kind of like, it's, it feels kind of flat, I guess. And I know it's monotone, but like I said, there's more nuance to the performance usually. But it's not that big of a deal. What else was I going to say? Is Eve back at school? Or did she just stop by?
She might have just stopped by.
Because I thought the whole point... Yeah, she stopped by. He came out of school. Oh, no, she's wearing her backpack. Is she at school? I thought the whole point was that she was leaving school. She said, fuck this, I'm going to help the world. And now she's back. She's got her backpack on outside of school. Maybe she's just stopping by. I'm going to assume she's just stopping by until we hear something else, because the whole point of her journey last season was like, I don't care about any of this. She's
trying to help.
She's doing the opposite of what Amber was trying to pull Mark to. That was her. That was like her purpose to Mark's story, is that Mark was like, am I going to be a human and go to college, or am I going to do superhero and do superhero stuff? Now it's more difficult for Mark, now that he knows that going into the superhero lane is like, is sort of good. He has another struggle there. It's not just which life am I going to live? If I choose this one, I could be a super evil bad guy.
Well, it's because before I think he kind of felt like he was meant for greatness, and then now it's kind of like with that greatness comes the responsibility to not kill all people ever.
Yeah, there's a risk to choosing that life. But that's what Eve represented. So if Eve is now just saying, fuck that, I'm just going to go to school during the day, it just kind of goes against her whole arc of last season to me. Because she left home, she built her crazy tree house in the woods, and was saving vineyards and stuff and saving the world and things. So that was like a big decision for her and like a new change to her life. I'm going to assume that she's still doing that. She's not going back to high school, because that would it just seems like a big waste of time for her, because she made this whole big thing last season about making the decision to leave. But now she's just back.
Yeah. Unless she has to keep going just enough so that her CPS doesn't get involved. I don't know.
Who cares? What is CPS going to do to her?
I don't know.
I don't know. She's going to graduate this year. Maybe she's just finishing grad. But again, it's like the whole point of her was that she doesn't need to do, she can make food herself. She can live wherever she wants. She can help people. She can fly. She doesn't need to be invested in this. And she has the purest intentions. Yeah. So I hope she's not going back to school, because that would be a real weird thing for her character. But I'm going to assume that she's just visiting Mark and checking in on him because she's her friend. She's his friend. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I think that's pretty much everything. Good episode. Yeah. One thing more on Amber is just the animation on her. You could instantly tell just visually, not even just her voice or the dialogue itself, but you could tell just her facial expression. Her whole facial, first of all, she's not scowling all the time, but when she's talking and the way she's just animated, she seems softer in the face and in the eyes, and you could just tell. It was immediately noticeable to me, just visually, that change. So that's good. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that change.
Really interesting as well that they also put her in this outfit as opposed to her other outfit. You're talking about how the animation kind of signals that, but she's wearing this nice light colors, and before she wear that kind of army jacket thing, that has a more harsh look to it, I guess.
Yeah. Is she wearing a jewel around her neck?
I think it's matching with her earring. Oh,
like a vape. It looks like a jewel. Okay, that's it. Leave a like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.